Alright, now it's time for the B's. The first B in our glossary is a bound control. A bound control in a form or a report is used to show or edit information from a table or query. And a good example is a text box. And I'll show you what we're talking about here. Let's just go into our form and design view. So we right click, go straight to design view. So in our form, all of these different boxes are types of controls. And a bound control is these down the right side. Actually, I can highlight them like this. These are all bound controls, and the reason they're called bound is because they are bound to a field in our table. So this one's bound to the first name field in our employees table. This one's bound to the last name field, phone, office ID, date of birth, and employment status in our employees table. And I actually showed you before that you could go in and just select on one of these, and you can go to the property sheet and you can change the location of this. So I could bind this to the last name field instead. So that's what a bound control is. And while we're on the subject, we can talk about unbound controls. And these over here are unbound controls. So they're not connected or bound to any data in a table or a query. They're essentially just a label box, and when we click into this, we can change the name of the label, and it won't really have any effect on anything in the database. It will only change the way that this label is displayed. Okay, so that's a bound control and an unbound control. Another type of control is a button. And we just happen to have some buttons right here. But the definition of a button is an image that houses a tool or a command. And so in the case of our button here, this button has a command written into it so that when we click it in form view, it's going to take us to a new record in the form. And this button has a command built into it so that if we click it in form view, it'll take us to the next record in our database or in our table. And as you recall, to create a button, we just go up to here, we click on this, and we come down and we drop the button right in. We get the command button wizard pops up, and it gives us all these options for how we want the button to behave and what we want it to do. So you can have it navigate through your records, you can have it navigate through your form, you can have it open reports or even send reports. You can have it close the application, and then there are a few other ones here: print a table, run a macro, etc. So those are buttons. I'll delete that now. And that's the end of the B's.